Today's video is not going to be very visually interesting. Let's just call it a blog. The reason it's not going to be very interesting is because my laptop's broken. That means I can't do any video editing whatsoever. Maybe when I submit this online, maybe I could sort of trim the start and the end of the video clip. Who knows? But because my computer's broken, it's brought up a topic that I've been meaning to address for a while now, is that students also have issues with their computers and their technology goes wrong and things, you just lose your files. And it's absolutely heartbreaking to hear a student just, with their heart in their hands, like, look, I'm so sorry, sir. I've been working so hard on my assignment and I dropped it, or I didn't hit save, or the file is corrupted. And just, it's hard when you have put so much work into something and you realize that it's not going to be there or it's been destroyed. And what can you do? And there's not a lot that I can suggest when things go wrong like that, but the best thing you can do is to have a workflow or a system in place such that when those occasions occur, they're not going to absolutely devastate you. So the solution that I'm going to suggest to you is using some form of a cloud-based solution for your assignments. Now, you're probably not going to use a cloud-based service for big, huge files like your music, or well, music is okay, but movies and video clips and stuff like that, which can be many hundreds of megabytes each. It's probably not going to be very it's not going to work well for that. It'll work, but just it's going to be slow. But for most things like typing out your Word in Microsoft Word and you're doing your assignments, I highly recommend using a cloud-based solution to actually store that file. Don't stick it on your local drive, which is the actual computer. It has its own data storage, which is called a hard drive, if you don't know that. And you need to find something that can connect it to the cloud. What is the cloud? I'm sure most of you know, but for those who don't, it is almost like imagine a hard drive where you store your files as per normal, but imagine that drive was wireless, so it's not actually in your computer. Let's say it's just off to one side, but you can access to it wirelessly. Okay, now one step further. What if you can access that wireless hard drive through your web browser? That means you could leave that at home and be all the way at work, and you can still access all those files on it. Or what if you don't even have to have the physical drive? You could just connect to the internet, and you have like an account which has a certain amount of data that you can use. That's basically what a cloud service provides to you. How you access your drive, that wireless location, is just that's what companies build software for, to give you ease of use, ease of access. So there are three that I'm going to suggest, and one of them is Dropbox, the other one is Google Drive, and the other one is Evernote. Now, some people use OneNote. I'm not sure if that one if that uploads to the cloud in any way. Maybe if you have Office 365. But for most of the students that I've been observing lately, they don't seem to have that feature working on them right now. But Dropbox is very popular. It's integrated with a lot of different software, particularly with iPhone. Is that it's basically that hard drive which you can access through Dropbox.com. So if you log into Dropbox.com, make an account. It's free for simple features or low amounts of data that you may need to use, and you can pay extra for greater storage space and things like that. But you can use that and throw your files into it, and so you have that online backup copy. But what's even better is that Dropbox also makes software which you can install onto your computer. And when you install the software, it could be a Mac or a Windows machine, it makes a folder actually within your hard drive space. So just like my documents and music and program files, etc., those all folders you might have on your hard drive, it'll make another one called Dropbox. And the beauty of that one is that if you save any file into it, it'll make a online copy. It'll start uploading a copy to Dropbox.com, the servers up there, which means that you can make something at home, throw it into your Dropbox folder that's on your hard drive, and it'll make another copy to the internet in Dropbox.com. You could then go to school and have a different computer, log on to Dropbox.com and pull that file down and continue to work on it, which is wonderful. If you have two computers, that's one way you could probably keep both of your files in sync. So you might have a desktop computer which has a big, big screen, you're comfy in a good chair, and you want to do your main work there. But you also want to have a small portable laptop which you might take to school or to work. Dropbox installed onto both machines will enable you to access the same thing and make backups and updates to it. It's wonderful. The other software that you can use is Google Drive. Google Drive has quite interesting features in that you can share a file. Sorry, let me backtrack. Google Drive has different things you can make within it. So you can make a Google Doc, which is just like a Word file. You can make a Google Excel spreadsheet. You can make a Google PowerPoint presentation. You can make a Google drawing and a Google form. There's a bunch of things you can make within Google with its own sort of software in that web browser, which means Safari, Firefox, Chrome, Internet Explorer. And you can access that using a Google account. You can also share access to a particular file. So for me, I have a set of homework problems that I made in a document, and I just share the link to my students. So every time they need to go revise that list, they can just maybe have like a bookmark, and they can just go to that bookmark, and it takes them to that page which has the document there for them. Other things is that you can share editing rights to a particular document. So for example, I have a sign-on sheet, so students of mine can sign in and put their names for a particular week where they would like to do a sporting activity and what they're planning to do. That lets me know, and that we can always see one updated file that everyone can access, even at the same time, without having permission issues. So that's a wonderful feature. You can use Google Drive software as well. So if you download Google Drive software to your Windows or Windows or Mac computer, it'll make the same sort of hard drive folder, much like Dropbox does. Keep in mind though that Google Doc files, which although are very much like Microsoft Word, they are not necessarily compatible with Microsoft Word. So it'll be like a it'll be some sort of file .gdoc, whereas Microsoft Word files are .docx. So they don't necessarily, they're not perfectly interchangeable, but they are somewhat similar. So you may just have very basic features of dragging and dropping things into that Google Drive folder on your machine, and it'll make the online backup for you, and you can access that using another computer. The last one I'm going to mention is Evernote, which is my favorite. Where do I start? It's a piece of software. You can type in it, you can add photos, you can add music, you can do like a voice recording, things like that. And every 5 minutes or so, 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 or half an hour, I think you can change it in the settings, it'll start synchronizing your data on your machine from Evernote only to the evernote.com server. That means that you don't have to hit save ever. You just keep typing, and once it's finished syncing, it's already up on the web. And it's also got wonderful search features, which I won't go into, but it means that you don't have to hit save, and there's always an online backup. So for me, I'm going to show up to work tomorrow. I don't have my computer, but I still have all my files on Evernote. So I just simply pick up another laptop, log into evernote.com, and I can pull down pretty much all the files and continue editing wherever I left off. I've also used iCloud, which is the cloud-based service for Apple software like Numbers, Pages, Keynote. They're all there, so I can still access my spreadsheet, which has my schedule plugged in there. And I'm also using Google Drive, so the sign-on sheets are still there and intact. I haven't lost any of those files, which means that I can still stay productive even though my technology itself has broken down. So keep this in mind, guys. I hope you start using them, because it's better to plan for these things than try and figure out what to do when you've lost everything. So I really hope that this can save a lot of people's heartaches, particularly when it comes to writing big, important assignments. So see you later, guys. Bye.